suffering. So that is, of course, something that we're all looking forward to. I know this is a topic that they would have very much enjoyed. He always liked hearing about these things, and therefore these words are being said also in memory of David Betzalel ben Liba. A question that comes up from time to time that I'm asked is, Rabbi, is it possible to contact those who have passed away? They're there, and they're going to come back eventually. What about now? Is there any way that we can reach out to them? The mourning period is in stages. We have the Shiva, we have the Shloshim, we have the year, and then we have a Yortzeit once a year. The purpose of all these stages is because the Iftar, the deceased, also leaves this world in stages. According to tradition, during the Shiva, the Neshama is still around. He goes from the cemetery to the house, from the house to the cemetery for the entire 7-day period. It is still attached to its home and to its family. As time goes by, it becomes more and more detached. The Shloshim and then the year. Throughout the entire year, a portion of the soul called the Nefesh is on the Kever. If we had eyes to see, we would be able to see something on the graves of those who passed away within a year. But we cannot see, for good reason. Hashem did not want us to see everything, otherwise it would drive us crazy. So there are certain things that we cannot see, but they are there for the entire year. One who goes there can actually speak to them, they hear you well, they're there, their presence is there. Even though they're there, the rabbis discourage one to go too often to a cemetery during the first year. There are those who want to visit, but it's not encouraged. The reason why it's not encouraged to go too often to the cemetery, even though the neshama is still there, is because the whole idea of the year is to allow the pain to go away, slowly but surely. If one were to visit regularly the kever, he would still be on his mind. He would still be pained. And it's not such a good idea for a person to have continuous painful memories. So we try not to visit too often, but it's still a fact that the neshama is there during the entire year. After that, the neshama goes up, and it's split into various locations. There's a paradise called Gan Eden Tachton, a lower one, and there's an upper one called Gan Eden Elyon. This is a very complex topic that we don't have the time to get into, but suffices to say that on the Yortzeit of every single year, the neshama comes back down to that particular spot where it was buried. Therefore, there is significance to go to the kever, if possible, during the time of the Yortzeit, because the neshama at that point in time actually hears us, and we can talk to him. We cannot see him, but we can talk to him. What if somebody could not make it to the Yortzeit? What if somebody is buried in Israel, and he comes to Israel sometime in the middle of the year, and he wants to nonetheless speak to his beloved relative? There is an interesting tradition that says as follows. If you happen to be in a cemetery, a large cemetery, and it's not the Yortzeit of the individual who you are visiting, at that time, nonetheless, there is someone in that big cemetery that it's his Yortzeit. Somebody in that large cemetery for sure has a Yortzeit on that day, someone. If you call out and you say, whoever is around listening to me, whoever's neshama is around, I will give charity for its soul if it does me the favor and call on my relative, because I have something to say. All those souls that are around, they will rush and try to locate that other soul, because they want to earn this additional mitzvah of tzedakah in their memory. We must remember that after one departs this world, there's nothing he can do for himself. The Zohar therefore says the mitzvah of kibud av va'em, honoring one's parents, continues even after their death by saying kaddish for them, by giving charity in their name, in their memory, by learning. All of this allows for the neshama to have an aliyah meaning a boost. They on their own can no longer do anything. But the children, the ones who are still alive, can continue to do for them. The children are the emissaries, the representatives of the parents. So their ma'asim, their deeds can make a tremendous difference. Therefore, when we offer this opportunity to a neshama whoever is around, please call on my relative so-and-so, and I will give tzedakah in your memory. They rush to do whatever they can so they can earn that extra credit. Even though the Torah says, Al tidreshu lamitim, in other words, you're not al tifnu ela, you're not allowed to go and seek out the dead.